Let's look at the first more practical example. So I'm going to look at the set of tools comparisons, and our first one is what can you do comparing to the prior year, your current year to your prior year. So this is your actual procedure. So in your procedures, this is what it's called. You'll notice that it follows our procedure structure, which has the how, the what, and the why. How is comparing. What are we comparing? Current year to prior year. Why are we comparing it to? Assess the reasonability. So you'll see that it still covers the how, the what, and the why. And if you're not sure of and haven't quite seen this, we'll go through it more again later. But all your procedures need to follow that particular structure. How are you obtaining the evidence? What exactly are you doing? What are you looking at? What's the detail of this? And why are you doing it? What are you trying to prove? So how, what, and why. There's your procedure. Nice. So let's look at this. Compare the current year sales figure with the prior year figure to assess the reasonability of revenue. So very much the same as in the little example when we spoke in the last video. If sales in the prior year was 200 and in the current year it's now all of a sudden 1,000, that's quite a hectic increase. I would say, proportionately it's a very large increase. Does that seem likely? Does that seem reasonable? On the face of it, I would say no. You've increased in 1 year, you've increased your revenue by 5 times. That's a lot. Your follow-up would be to investigate. Okay, so my starting point would say, I'm sorry, this doesn't seem right. Something seems wrong here. If you follow up with management and you say, I have compared the current year sales figure to the prior, it doesn't seem right. If you go and investigate, you inquire of management, and they say to you, yeah, that's right. We brought out 10 new products onto the market and they've sold really, really well this year. That then gives us an indication that maybe it is right after all. So giving us context, we're just looking at one small little component and we're saying, well, current year versus prior year, that's a massive increase. It doesn't seem right. So that gives us context. If we just got the current year on its own, we're going sales is 1,000. I don't know what to compare it to. I don't know what to look at it in comparison. So I don't know if it's right or wrong. Prior year is 200. I don't know. That seems wrong. So your procedure, compare the current year sales figure with the prior year to assess the reasonability of revenue. Obviously, you can do this with pretty much any of the accounts, any of the balances, sales, purchases, inventory, debtors, creditors, provisions, whatever, payroll. Comparing the current year to the prior year gives us an indication of whether or not it seems reasonable.